5 different double wall vacuum insulated bottles. The prices range from $15 all the way up to $45. We're gonna see how well they keep cold liquids. We're gonna see how well they keep hot liquids. We're gonna test durability in a few different ways, and I'm also gonna identify what's common between them and what is unique. Hi, it's present day me. You were just watching past day me, and I have a couple updates for you. Update number 1 is this video was filmed on a number of different days, and I'm just gonna mix all that footage together. The second update is that the video is getting pretty long, so I'm going to release it in 2 parts. And the third update is you will see a new contender. Another thing you might be noticing is that these bottles look a little bit more beat up, and we'll be going through that later in the video. All right, so right off the bat, let's talk price. I have the bottles in order of least expensive over here to most expensive down here. The RTIC is the cheapest. I think I paid $14.99 for this bottle. On their site, it's listed at $37.99 with a discount, but I think it's always discounted, so I don't think you'll have trouble finding it for $14.99. I also bought this extra cap. This is the only bottle I bought an extra cap for because the bottle was so cheap, and the cap I think was $4.99. Next up, we have the Wyld Gear. This was $29.99. It's also tied in price-wise with the Miir, which is also $29.99, but I put it on the cheaper side because it comes with this magnetic cap, and the Miir just comes with a typical cap. Next up, we have the Yeti at $39.99. And lastly, we have the Trail Series Hydro Flask, which I think is $44.99 or $95. But I did see it on sale recently for $33 and change. I paid $45, but I wish I got it on sale. All right, now let's do a weigh-in. Let's start again with the RTIC, and that is coming in at 459 grams. The Wyld Gear, 439 grams, so a little bit lighter than the RTIC. Miir bottle, 370 grams, so that's our most light right now. The Yeti, 621 grams, and then the Hydro Flask Trail Series, 284 grams. Wow, so the Hydro Flask Trail Series is almost 100 grams lighter than our lightest bottle so far. So let's get these in weight order. So before we start testing, I want to give you my first impressions of each. I'll start with the RTIC. What stands out to me about the RTIC bottle is they're strikingly similar to Yeti bottles, obviously at a fraction of the cost. The bottle itself feels pretty durable. It seems well made. Comes with a sticker. The label looks pretty good. 18 1/8 stainless steel, no sweat exterior, designed in Cypress, Texas. Double wall vacuum insulated, keeps ice longer, holds ice for up to 24 hours, keeps liquids hot for 6 hours. Made in China, hand wash only. And this is a 26-ounce bottle, as you can see. This cap is not magnetic. It has this little retainer here. The plastic on this, I can already tell you, is a little bit cheaper than some of the more premium bottles on the table.
But I don't know if that'll be an issue.
Next, let's take a look at the Wyld Gear bottle. Seems like a pretty cool brand. They have some unique features in some of their other cups and bottles. They have cups that are double wall vacuum insulated, I think. They look like big solo cups. They have a lot of bottle openers on the bottom of their tumblers. Obviously not present on this bottle, but this one does come with a magnetic cap, which I think is pretty cool. You just keep it back there, and that comes standard on it. Kind of a unique gripping handle. Branding looks pretty good. Keeps drinks hot or cold longer. As I said, it's 24 ounces. Great for travel, hiking, school. Designed and developed by Wyld Gear LLC in Wyoming. This is called the Magna Cap. No sweat exterior, double wall vacuum insulated, 18 1/8 stainless steel. So both of these so far are made out of 18 1/8. It has a rubber bottom, which is, I think, a pretty nice feature. Feels like there's some rubber, like a rubber O-ring around the top. And the cap looks pretty thick. All right, so that's the Wyld Gear. Next, let's take a look at the Miir bottle. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. The one thing I'll say right off the bat, because it's kind of annoying, is that I thought that I was purchasing a tan bottle, and it's obviously a little bit more pink. I don't know if that comes out on camera. So I feel like Miir does a really good job of working with a lot of different organizations and giving back. Every Miir product includes a give code, which is connected to a giving project. We invite you to register your code on the base of your bottle and experience the story behind your purchase. That's kind of cool. Miir is a certified B Corp. All right, let's talk about the Miir bottle. As I said, it's 23 ounces, Thermo 3D vacuum insulation technology, keeps cold for 24 hours, stays hot up to 12 hours. Double wall insulated, does not sweat, BPA free, leak proof design, 18 1/8 medical grade stainless steel. So all three of these so far. Optimal size opening, I don't know about that. The cap, I don't know how you describe it. You just get a better experience with this cap. You feel more confident that it's not gonna leak. This is the only bottle that we'll be testing with a more narrow mouth. This is saying that it's dishwasher safe, which is a big win in my book. Lifetime warranty, just like our other water projects. Our vessels are built to last. Miir.com for details. So that's the Miir bottle. Aside from the color, I'm really pretty impressed with it for 30 bucks. Next, let's take a look at the Yeti bottle. The Yeti bottle is our second most expensive bottle. Comes with this chug cap, what they call the chug cap, which I think is kind of cool. Chug cap rundown, 100% leak proof, dishwasher safe, twists off for easy fill up. Yeah, this is nice. It has that chug cap. Throw this guy on there, 100% leak proof, which is nice. You can unscrew both of them to have access to the wide mouth opening. Premium feel, the cap I feel like is the most premium so far. Plastic, you know, I don't know why. It feels, maybe it's thicker, I don't know. It has a more premium feel. This is a 26 ounce bottle. So we have 26, 24, 23, 26. Dishwasher safe because no one needs more work to do. Couldn't agree more. Made with durable kitchen grade 18 1/8 stainless. Double wall vacuum insulated, keeps drinks cold or hot to the last drop. No sweat design, prevents condensation, keeping hands dry. If your Rambler drinkware comes in Duracoat color, it won't peel or crack. Top handle for easy transporting, won't crack or sweat, helps reduce single-use plastic, BPA free. Good for alpine climbs, on-hand H2O, hefty hot tea, extended treks, and enough whiskey. I feel like Yeti has a kind of a sense of humor. The bottle that knows no bounds, care and use guide, registration, and then a sticker. All right, so that's the Yeti. The Trail Series is meant to be lighter, I guess makes it better for going on hikes or camping. You know, you don't have the excess weight of the bottle itself. Obviously this Yeti is empty and it's still pretty heavy. That feels like a pretty good bottle. Wide mouth, insulated, BPA free. Feels like a pretty good seal there. Pro grade stainless steel, 18 1/8, so all of them are 18 1/8. 25% lighter weight, BPA and toxin free. Lightweight hydration, 24 ounces, I think I mentioned that. Cold for 24 hours, hot for 12 hours. They call this the Temp Shield. Double wall vacuum insulation. Our unique insulation keeps your drink cold or hot for hours so you can stay refreshed for any adventure. They're out of Bend, Oregon. Hand wash only, they're saying on here. All right, and that is the Hydro Flask Trail Series. So they do make a Hydro Flask 24 ounce non-trail series. That one is $34.95, I think, so $10 cheaper. Okay, so we added a sixth contender. This is the Hydro Flask, the normal Hydro Flask 24 ounce. This is the Hydro Flask Trail Series. We added this bottle for a couple of different reasons. We'll get into that when we talk about the cold test. But what I wanted to do was weigh this bottle in and give you my first impressions. So this Hydro Flask comes in at 375 grams. Initial impressions, obviously this is not my first impression because I've been testing with this bottle. I like it. And Hydro Flask, I liked the Trail Series. Build quality is good. Cap feels good. It has a more narrow mouth, kind of like the Miir. All right, the Hydro Flask standard mouth. Colder, hotter, longer. Also has the Temp Shield, double wall vacuum insulated. Our unique insulation keeps your drink cold or hot for hours so you can stay refreshed for any adventure. Cold for 24 hours, hot for 12 hours. Color lasting coating, pro grade stainless steel, 18 1/8, BPA and toxin free. Dishwasher safe. They have this under taste. 18 1/8 pro grade stainless steel, won't retain or transfer flavors. Color last powder coating, easy grip, sweat free, ultimate color retention. We guarantee every Hydro Flask bottle with a lifetime warranty against manufacturer defect. Parks for All. Parks for All provides grants to nonprofit organizations focused on building, maintaining, restoring, or providing better access to parks. Learn more at hydroflask.com/parks-for-all. Again, out of Bend, Oregon, made in China. $197.8. The time is 10 a.m. Everyone just got in the refrigerator, Refrigerator temp, about 45 degrees. 10:33. Outside temp, 65-ish. Time is 11:09. RTIC, 1 p.m. check-in. Cap, 70-ish, 71. 2:30 check-in. 4:30 check-in. 6:24 check-in. All right, let's talk about the hot liquid test. What I did for the hot liquid test was I boiled some water on the stove. I got it around 200 degrees Fahrenheit. Then I poured it in each of the bottles. Then I tested the temperature of each of the bottles at the beginning of the test. Then I capped them up and I put them in the refrigerator. They were in the refrigerator the whole entire day for 8.5 hours, unless I was taking them out to test the temperature. And the refrigerator temp was around 45 degrees Fahrenheit. I didn't have a set cadence to check in on the temperatures, so I checked in at half an hour, 1 hour, 3 hours, 4.5 hours, 6.5 hours, and 8.5 hours. At each check-in, I tested the temperature of the water. I also gauged the temperature of the outside of the bottle and the outside of the cap. I didn't compile the data for the temperature of the bottles and the caps. I just didn't think it was significant enough. So we're just gonna focus on the temperature of the liquid. I took that data and I put it into a chart, and I'll share that with you guys now. All right, so let's go over the chart. Obviously at the top, we have the legend of the bottle and the associated line color with that bottle. Unfortunately, I couldn't match the line color with the color of the bottle, but we'll make this work. On the horizontal axis, we have start time and then the time check-in intervals. So you have start, you have a check-in at half an hour, a check-in at an hour, a check-in at 3 hours, a check-in at 4.5 hours, 6.5, and 8.5. And then on the vertical axis, we have percentages. So 100% represents 100% of the starting temperature. Because the bottles all started at different temperatures, we had to show it in percentages. So 100% is 100% of your starting temperature. To give you an example of what I'm talking about, so the RTIC started at 197.8 degrees at the beginning of the test. And at the end, the 8.5 hour mark, it was at 101.3. So it started just under 200 degrees Fahrenheit, and then it ended just above 100. So that's about 50. And you can see on the chart at the 8.5 hour mark check-in, the RTIC's at 51%. So it retained about 51% of its starting temp. So the various percentages on the lines, which are probably too small for you guys to read, represent what percentage of the starting temperature remains. All right, so let's take a look at the chart together here. What stands out right away is who's the best and who's the worst. Who's the best? These two are the best, and this guy is the worst. So the best at the 8.5 hour mark, these two bottles retained about 70% of their starting temps, which is pretty significant after 8.5 hours. And the RTIC lost about 50% of its starting temp. And then these middle of the road guys right here, the Trail Series Hydro Flask was at 62%, Wyld Gear was at 60%, and the Yeti was at 58%. Another thing I want to highlight about that is the two top performers have the more narrow mouth. We'll keep an eye on that in the cold test. And this might be common knowledge, but I'm thinking that these bottles with the wide mouth are at a disadvantage because they have bigger plastic caps. Another check-in I want to call out is the 1 hour mark. Obviously, everybody's going to use these in different scenarios, whether they're going out adventuring, camping, hiking, working outside, or working in an office. You'll see these types of bottles in a lot of different places. That's going to affect which bottle is going to work best for you. I want to call it an hour because I feel like it's probably pretty common that you pour your hot beverage in one of these and you don't drink it for maybe about an hour because you have a commute, or you're driving to your favorite park, you're driving to a job site and you're getting all set up before you actually start to consume the beverage. So at 1 hour, these guys were at 93%. This guy was at 91. Wyld Gear was at 89. Yeti was at 88. And the RTIC was at 85. Not a ton of variability at an hour. The two other checkpoints that I think are important are the 3 hour and the 4.5 hour. I think with bottles of these size, you're probably consuming whatever's inside of them within 3, maybe 4.5 hours. So let's check in there and see how everybody did. So these guys were at 86%, 81, 79, 77, and 71. You see much wider variability between the RTIC and the rest of the pack. This is where you can kind of really see that drop off, and that continues into the 4.5 hour check-in. These guys were right around 80%. This guy was at 74%, 72, 70, and 64. So let's talk about that. So at 4.5 hours in, and remember they were in the refrigerator. The refrigerator is at 45 degrees or so, and these guys still retain 80% of their starting temp, and these guys retained about 70 or so of their starting temp, which is pretty impressive. Another thing I'd like to call out is at that 3 to 4 hour mark, when you're at 80 or 70%, sometimes you pour the hot beverage in these and it's too hot for you to drink, so it takes time to get to a temperature where you can consume it. So that 80% of your starting temp might be your sweet spot. That's something to keep in mind as well. So you gotta kind of figure out, what temperature you're brewing your tea or your coffee at, and you can go from there. So I think we learned a bunch in this test, and we'll keep that in mind as we continue to test and help you guys decide which bottle makes the most sense for you. Coming up in part 2.